Hey everyone, and welcome back to Don't Open That Door. It's Justin, Nico, and Dan. We're back again with another Don't Open That Door hangout. And today we're going to be talking about, well, I'll leave it to my comrade in arms, Nico. Nico, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about when people are inside you, Justin.
Ooh.
Well, that joke's not going to get played out this episode, but we're talking about possession movies. That's right. The theme of this week, as you could probably guess from our review of The Wailing, is possession movies. So let's kind of get started here and let's kind of we're going to break down possession movies, talk about some of our favorite movies, and do a little fun what would you do section. So to lead off with, I feel like you can't ever really talk about possession movies without talking about the religious aspect of possession movies. I think, one of the biggest influences is definitely Christianity, namely Catholicism, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all know the classic Catholic priest has to, pelt some holy water on a poor person that's possessed by a demon. So there's always, even for people, who may not be Catholic or even Christian, there's always that element of
The traditions have seeped across into other cultures too.
exactly right. You've said it best than most me could. And then you see how that works?
To agree, yeah.
And then I do also want to point out, having seen some possession movies from other cultures, which first off, we've all seen one, The Wailing, which is obviously from Korea, but
Yes.
I've seen some, for example, from like India, right? Or also some from like a more
Actually, yeah, so have I.
voodoo/obia perspective. And despite the differences in the religions and in the cultures, they do have a lot of different themes in common.
I've got a question for
despite
you,
all that.
actually,
What's
Justin,
up? What's up?
in regards
What's
to
up?
that. So, would you consider movies that are based in like pagan mythology or like some other just like mythology that the random the random viewer wouldn't necessarily be familiar with, if there were like spirits and stuff involved, is that still a possession movie, or is it only a possession movie when we've got like, demons from the ninth layer of hell or something like that?
So it's funny that you say that, because we're actually going to break down some of those exact tropes that I feel like almost define the movie as such. But to me, at least, the presence of ghosts for me is kind of like haunting, which haunting and possession have a lot of like, rollover together. But I feel like possession has to be, to quote someone from earlier, someone's got to be inside you. Like there has to be some entity trying to malevolently possess you or your household appliances or something else going on.
So it has to be malevolent then?
I've yet to see a possession movie where it was like actually like a horror movie and not malevolent. I've seen, maybe, I don't know if you could consider like, I don't know, I'm trying to think right now of like a movie where like is Yu-Gi-Oh! A possession anime?
I mean,
Because
that's kind of what I'm getting
Yeah,
at.
I guess. I hadn't thought about that. Damn.
I mean, every time he transforms, his balls drop. But yeah, like
every time we touch.
I mean, he is possessed,
Well,
I guess.
we went two different directions there.
and we're going to take
Anyway.
another direction now here. Dan, what else do we have in these possession movies? What else? What are some other themes?
So usually there's also sort of like a guru type character. So that would be like Ed and Lorraine Warren. Well, no, they're like the exorcists. Well, I guess they're both.
They're both, I would say.
Yeah, they're
They are
like
both,
the guru.
yeah.
Or like in like the Insidious movie, like Lin Shaye. Usually somebody who has experience with this before, or
The Dybbuk shaman in
oh
Killer Sofa.
yeah, I forgot about that. You're
Gets
right.
fucking ethered because that woman wouldn't give him his
Yeah, yeah. No, that was a good ass movie.
shout
Man.
outs to that movie. Go fucking watch that
I forgot
movie.
that's a possession movie too.
Yeah, straight
Yeah.
up, right?
Absolutely, it is.
I just forgot.
You know what's crazy? It's a possession because there's a spirit possessing a dude who then possesses the couch.
Like, yo, dog, I heard you like possession, so we put a possession in your possession so you can possess how I possess.
Possession.
That's called a tri-session. Nico, you actually bring up a really good point. So-
Certainly, which one?
Just one.
First off, the dude, I believe in Killer Sofa, dude was a rabbi, right? Or like a
yeah.
former rabbi or something like that. So there's oftentimes a trope that kind of guru character, the elderly character, oftentimes gets felled, but not by an actual ghost or spirit. Oftentimes it's something of the mortal
Fucking
world.
shenanigans.
Yeah, it's like the mortal world gets him in the end.
Yeah.
Whether that's, like a
3 days away from retirement.
yeah, like I feel like something innocuous, I mean, it results in death, but always happens to those characters.
The innocuous murder weapon.
But I feel like you've got some snark in you, Nico. Why don't you go ahead and tell me about another S word?
Right. So one of the other culprits in this soup du possession, that was a sentence that I just said. One of the key parts here is the skeptic. And
What do
that
they
is-
do?
So they are the ones who skept. There's like a situation where it's like, hey, I gotta get skept here. So someone is like, hey, I'm a skeptic. I'll skept for you. That got away from me very quickly. But no, they're the doubter of the group. The people who are, offering up the like. Perhaps they're touting their faith in science, or just their disbelief in all things magical or spiritual. But there's almost always someone who's just like, nah, dude, she's just got mono and a bitchin' headache or something. I don't know.
Well, I don't believe you. Dan, can you maybe can either of you really, I guess, think of a good example of a character like that? And maybe some of the movies we reviewed or just another one you know about?
Yeah, I mean, in Insidious, the husband.
The fucking husband, yeah.
Didn't think about anything.
For true.
Frenchie in The Nun. I don't know if either of you have seen The Nun, but he's a definite skeptic.
That one character in Night of the Demons didn't believe anything.
Oh.
A whole bunch of people in the first Conjuring movie didn't believe it at first.
All right, yeah. So I guess, you know what, there has to be...
you fucking tried to turn this one around on me, you son of a bitch. Couldn't let me have one thing.
What? Couldn't let you know to have the skeptic?
No, that was never mind. It's
see?
kind of like you were shut up.
Yeah. I unleashed my power through, and it's good because I actually think the lens of the skeptic is actually really important to all these movies. Because, you almost want the audience to have somebody that they hate.
Or identify with, because we're going into it just as empty-handed as they are oftentimes.
I guess that's very true. I was going to say the ultimate skeptic was the main character from Ghost Stories. Remember that film?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And the whole
But,
film was based around his skepticism, so yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
Justin was very skeptical of its merit, but
And the
you'll
guru.
check out our episode.
The guru
True
was a
enough.
skeptic too.
Yeah, see?
Skeptic turned.
Oh, true. Got a little bit of mixed matching here.
Yeah, exactly. So I do think, though, that is very important because, as you said, Nico, it's either a character that the audience can relate to, or it's somebody that the audience can kind of be like, you fool, how could you not see this was a possession?
Yeah, exactly.
I do think that's important. But there's also another character. So Dan did kind of hint at it earlier on.
Right.
But sometimes you have a guru character who's maybe more wise, but doesn't necessarily interfere so much. But sometimes you have a different breed of hero.
Yeah.
Which is what, Nico?
So if I was to liken it to, say, like RPG classes, you would have a guru and he would be like a cleric or maybe like a white mage. And then you have the exorcist, and those are the ones with the righteous big dick energy who take the demons out of people.
Okay.
We got some examples such as John Constantine, such as Ed and Lorraine Warren. People who come back on this podcast regularly will they will know the feats and the many laurels hoisted upon Ed and Lorraine Warren, precious though they may be.
They're the goats.
They are absolutely the goats. But no, an exorcist is usually an essential part in the possession movie just because, that's going to be the force that drives against the threat. It is going to be the sort of like protagonist force against the conflict in the movie. So it makes sense that some kind of, be it officiated by the Vatican or whoever, some sort of exorcist figure.
Exactly right. And I do think, that kind of figure is definitely important as well, because you need a hero. You need somebody to root for. And we're missing one final element for a true kind of possession flick, which is the baby lamb. Go into that a little bit more, Dan. What do I mean by that?
Usually there's sort of an innocent person who's usually the one who ends up getting possessed.
Right on.
Whether it's, the child of the main character is a little kid. Most often I would say it's probably some sort of child. But yeah, as the innocent person, and the demon or the demonic force is typically gets into that character, and then everyone else is just trying to get it out, obviously.
Yeah, and corruption of the innocents.
Yes.
It's not just something that Socrates was charged with, but it is a theme throughout horror. Nico, can you speak to that at all?
Innocent lambs in the possession movies can be seen as, some sort of, like taboo figure within society or something like that. Like, if I recall correctly, actually, wasn't one of the more shocking parts of like The Exorcist, like how the demon used such like sexual language just like adamantly, and like that was scary in and of itself at the time or something like that.
Yeah, it was definitely very vulgar.
Yeah, so that totally checks out.
So now I'm going to ask you guys, like what are some standout movies? What are some standout film, if you could say that? And I'm going to go ahead and lead off. I mean, I loved The Wailing, but I feel like you got to talk about stuff like the Amityville Horror. That's another one.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
What about you? What about you, Dan? You got any classics?
I mean, of course, The Exorcist. I mean,
Shit.
that's a kind of a given. I would throw in Paranormal Activity as well. I think that's
Yes,
one
I
of
would too.
the more recent-er ones. I mean, I guess it's not too recent anymore, but relatively modern that I think defined the genre at the time anyways.
Surprisingly long franchise too.
Yeah.
Correct. Nico?
Of course, we've got the one big classico, Poltergeist, where we got some people who were living on a Indian graveyard reservation, something else. But my personal standout is actually not any of these standouts, good though they are.
Was it?
What was my personal favorites? My good sir, The Conjuring 2. So fucking good.
Would you say that The Conjuring is one of the sort of standouts in the genre as well?
I think nowadays, yeah, just because of, I can't really say the franchise necessarily, but like the universe built up around it. Like we've got Annabelle, The Nun, we're going to have something on The Crooked Man later on. And, I think there's 2 or 3 Annabelles and we're about to get the 3rd Conjuring. So like, it's definitely a tour de force of modern horror, I would say.
Do you consider Chucky, Child's Play, to be
possession?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I would still kick the shit out of that little turd, but by that little turd, I mean both the movie and Chucky himself.
I'm going to say this. I don't know if I could class Chucky as a possession movie.
But is it not Frank, what's his fuck, possessing the doll?
I almost feel like, to take it back to your RPG metaphor, I feel like, yeah, what I'm saying, the Chucky movie maybe knows a few like possession class spells, but I feel like it's a different class.
Okay, okay.
I would equate that more so with like a slasher.
Yeah.
Because Chucky's out here killing mad people and no one believes the kid. But I think, and if we're going back to our elements here, first off, it just, to me, it doesn't really have that, like spirit possessing.
It doesn't have the key elements.
Yeah, I mean, I still think he does try to corrupt the child somewhat.
Kill. Corrupt via stab wound.
Well, he doesn't want to kill him right at the start. He's trying to transfer himself into the kid.
Well, yeah, I know.
I think. So I think it's kind of like the prelude to a possession, but not quite as yet.
Possession adjacent. It's possessish. Possessish? Possessy.
But now I have to ask, in general, and I guess I'm going to lead off with our general, Dan, do you find these movies scary, really? Are these movies that really send a chill down your spine, a tingle in your jingle, that kind of thing?
Yes. Yes.
That last little bit there? A tingle and then you're jingling?
Yep. I tingle on these movies. I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. I think it's partly like a lot of times the build up and like up all the way up to the possession to the point where the person is doing scary shit. I don't know what it is, but these movies usually do scare the shit out of me.
All right, we're going to go ahead and forward over now to Nico. Nico, what do you think?
I don't find these as scary as Dan, and I don't know how scary you find them, Justin, but I always am more like fascinated with them more than anything, because like religion is always something that has been just really, really just fundamentally interesting to me, and given that, that's one of the key elements of possession, I almost view it more so as like a mystical fantasy film, depending on like if it's not like that scary. Like if the horror edges it out, then I mean, yeah, it's obviously still going to be horror regardless. But like I guess I come at this genre from a more like outsider's, I can't say clinical perspective, but just a different one.
All right. I mean, I guess, like edging aside, I think that for sure, for me at least, I find these to be quite scary. Possession movies are sometimes, I think for me, even though a lot of them are based in, Christianity, and I'm not Christian, but at the same time, I know enough and I've studied enough to like really kind of like get to grips with it and see for myself that like, oh shit. And you know what? It's kind of like what Dan was talking about. There's not any one particular thing that happens that makes me feel scared. I think it's just the buildup. I like seeing the gradual corruption. There's always the classic like, are you okay, Jessica? You will become the chosen one. Oh man, you must not have drank your orange juice today. Like, there's always like just that blatant like, oh no, she's possessed. And like people can't really see it for what it is until it's too late. Like, I don't know. And I think it also has to do with the fact that I definitely 1,000% believe in ghosts. I definitely 1,000% believe in spiritual shit. So to me, it's almost kind of like remember that one like driver's ed video that we watched in high school where like the dude took his eyes off the road for a second, and then looked back up and there was like a camel in the intersection or some shit
and
like
you were still at fault.
Yeah. And like for me, I took that to heart though. Like I kept my eyes on the road just in case there might be a camel one day. And I feel like these possession movies are the same way, like, yeah, okay, it may not happen to me, but shit, it could.
I thought you were going to say they're the same because neither in the movie nor in real life do you have a car.
Oh, light me up and blow me away, Scotty. But
love you, buddy.
But no, yeah, it's quite wild. It's quite wild and intrepid.
I guess that's kind of touches on another reason why I guess I find them scary too, is because they start innocent, like, like
yes.
there'll be like this
more domestic
thing gets knocked off the shelf or whatever. And like that shit happens to me. Like, who hasn't had that shit happen to them? Where like, wait, how did that get there? Or whatever. And then like,
foolish Dan, everything in my house is magnets.
How do they work?
Fucking miracles.
So then you have this like what I would like to me a believable logical progression until you get to the possession part of it. And I guess it just takes me on this sort of journey that to me is very believable. And I can see how at the end when the person is like crazy possessed doing crazy shit, by that point I'm like, damn, I believe this. Like this could actually happen. And again, that kind of plays into the buildup as well. Because if you started with that, I'd be like, nah, fuck that. That's not real. But the progression of that keeps me believing in it. And now I'm just like, shit, what if my neighbor gets possessed? Like, I don't know.
Check our other bonus episode where we actually talked about our little haunted house.
Yeah.
Just like the similar themes creep me right out. So would you say that we're still getting possession movies in full force today? There are some genres that maybe have kind of waned a little bit, particularly as we enter this new decade. Maybe some genres aren't as prevalent as they once were. Maybe some are more prevalent. So talking about possession films, would you say those are still kind of, in vogue? Or would you say those have maybe had their time under the bright, pale moonlight? Go ahead, Dan.
I think they are. I mean, we got a new Conjuring, at time of recording, we got a new Conjuring movie coming out sometime soonish.
Time of release, we'll have one coming out too. That's not coming out for a minute, bro.
No, true. And I mean, you even have like TV shows like Haunting of Hill House and the newer one, Bly Manor, which I don't...
So stoked for those.
Yeah. I don't know, like Hill House wasn't like full on possession, I would say.
It was possession-y.
Yeah, I mean, it's haunting that has possession in it. But I mean, I think it's adjacent enough. And there's, similar movies like The Conjuring that are still coming out. I don't know of anyone recently that has been like a game changer or,
Oh, I
stable.
do. Oh. I absolutely fucking do.
What's that?
Like, one of the most talked about movies and one of my personal favorite movies of the last year, Hereditary, bro.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a possession movie.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
Motherfuckers were talking about that for a long time.
Yeah.
Ari Aster, please come on the podcast. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, he just texted me. He said he's down.
Oh, damn. Okay, true.
Yeah. He was just hanging out with me. Yeah. No, to audience, no, he wasn't. So,
for legal reasons, this was a joke.
For clarification.
So, I mean, yeah, no, I definitely agree with you guys. I also think that, given, like Dan said, the prevalence of Ed and Lorraine Warren on this podcast, really.
Shout out to the legends.
And, you know, just also in terms of like, I guess The Wailing is another one. I feel like possession-based movies are kind of like they're never really like full blast in your face. Like a ton of possession movies came out this year. But I feel like there's always a couple. There's always
a ton of really bad possession movies come out all the time, though.
Jesus Christ, let's not get started, bro. Oh my God. You know what? Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question right now. Yeah? Do you think that this is one of the easiest genres to just do completely wrong?
Oh, for fucking sure, bro.
Why would you say that?
You could get like any theater department in a college, give them enough booze and tell them to just act stupid and vomit everywhere, and they like you're Gucci. Like, this is one of the ones I feel like where, because it's so domestic, people even go further into not paying attention to the little details just because of like them committing to the bits so much.
I think it's the details that really bring it in, because like we kind of talked about, a lot of it for me is the build-up, and having a build-up that pays off and it, you know, actually does a good job. There's a lot of details that go into that over the course of the entire movie, not just, oh, we have to have a really cool violent kill or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's
not just, oh, we're running from zombies.
Yeah.
And that's the whole deal.
No, I mean, that's facts though. That's facts. And I was literally about to say the same shit. I think it's one of those things where you talk about the details. I think it also, you got to make the audience believe in whatever lore you've got going on. You know, like the actors have to present the lore in such a way that, oh, okay, this is actually legit. This is actually for real. I do agree. I've seen some possession movies that have been like, what the fuck is going on here? Just like, this just does not make any sense. And I will say, you know, like there are obviously really good exorcism movies like The Exorcist, or there's even The Exorcism of Emily Rose. There's so many exorcism movies just named after a person. It's like the exorcism of this person, the exorcism of this person.
John Cena!
Can't do that because you can't see him. So we're going to go ahead now and shift gears. And what would you do? So this is going to be a multi-part. What would you do? So let's go ahead and start here. I'm going to give you guys this premise and give me a quick fire response, right? What would you do if your roommate, we'll go ahead and come up with a random name. How about Bonner?
Bonner.
Started acting strange. You know, like at first, maybe they were just like, I don't know, maybe just like walking at night, sleepwalking or something like that. And then they started maybe speaking in tongues. And then finally you start seeing them like climb up on walls, doing the whole head turn around, head spin thing. What would you do?
I would leave a glass of water by their bed and tell them to sleep it off.
I don't know what I would do until they started climbing up walls.
Yeah, like that's the point.
At that point, I would call Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Straight fucking up.
All right, but you can't do that anymore. So what else are you going to do? Would you leave? Would you just be like, yo, fucking, I'm gone?
I'd stay at a friend's house for sure.
I would buy a whole bunch of silver.
I think I would invest in a crucifix, yeah.
Go chill at a church.
Is it a cross or a crucifix? I don't know which one it is. I should know this.
I think it's either or, right? You just got to have faith.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Catholic Church, please don't at me. Yeah, no, like once they got all Brundlefly on me, then like, nope, I'm out.
Check our review of The Fly. It's a great, friendly movie for all audiences. Note to the audience, it's not friendly for all.
Not just for clarification.
For legal purposes.
No, it's not. So I agree. I think, you know, so maybe if someone started acting strange, I wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
I think speaking in tongues, I might have to like give them a quick slap. Just make sure they're okay.
Just a quick little slap.
Just a quick little slap.
I've done that before. Like literally like, so no. No, I've had a friend one time who was like, you know, getting, no, I had a friend who was like kind of feeling a little faint.
I had a friend who was getting,
No, he was kind of feeling a little bit faint. And I was like, bro, had to give him a little tap, little like yo.
A little like, tap on the cheek.
Little just, little
so yeah, wake up. Like you can't be falling asleep now.
It's a light little kiss on the lips.
No, not that. It's more like you've gone too far, sir. But no, so what would you say is maybe, and of course we all agree, once you start climbing up on the wall, well, I would actually try small scale spiritual intervention on my own.
I thought you were going to say I would try climbing up the wall then.
No. Well, first off, if I saw someone climb up a wall on the real, I might be like, wait a sec. And then like, just,
Am I tripping here?
like check the wall. Like, did something happen? Something change?
Damn. It got real human in here all of a sudden.
Are you an X-Man? But no. So I'm going to present you guys now with a different scenario because we talked about people earlier. So what about household appliances? What would you do if like maybe start innocent, right? Like maybe your TV starts flipping channels on its own. Like you close your laptop, but it keeps playing music still.
Okay.
After you walk away. Or wow.
Coming at my man's Dan like this, okay.
I don't even know. Dan's taking this kind of personal. So so it starts off like that, like innocent, you know, and then maybe like all of a sudden, maybe some chairs start moving, things start moving around your house. Oh, I didn't put this there. How'd this get here? And then finally, maybe the house really starts moving, chairs start flying around. So walk me through each of the phases, Nico. When would you kind of call it quits?
TV started acting up all on its own. My TV's like 13 years old. Yeah, that tracks. Chairs started moving. I don't know. I mean, like, I've got a roommate. I would just assume that, like, he moved it or something. And it ends with the house shaking and physically hurting or trolling me. The first thing I would do is I would call you. And I would be like, yo, dog, let me recount to you the series of things that have gone wrong.
I am so glad you said that.
Because, like, I would need to check with you before I was sure.
So it's funny you say that because when Justin said laptop continued playing, literally, 2 nights ago, I closed my laptop to put it to sleep and it kept playing, like it turned off and then started playing music again. And then when I went to check on it, I like paused YouTube and like all this kind of shit, like closed it, put it to sleep manually and shit. As soon as I walked out of my room, it started playing music again. And I was like, fuck no.
What was the song?
I don't know. It was on, like I was watching some like how to like beat making video thing and it had skipped forward 2 videos. So it didn't just continue that same video. And as soon as I walked out of the room, as soon as I walked in the room, it stopped because it knew I was there.
Bro, this spirit's trying to say your beat game is weak.
Apparently.
It's like, bro, let me help you out.
I don't know, bro. But literally the first thing I did, called my man Justin.
Yeah,
was like,
I mean,
bro,
look.
I gotta move out.
So listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. So I had a similar situation in the past, obviously, with, again, please refer back to the bonus app when Dan and I talk about our haunted house. But like our PlayStation controller started acting on its own, doorbell acting on its own. My knitted hat that was knit for me disappeared, then reappeared. I'll be honest with you, like I'm gonna leave. I'm not afraid to leave. Like this is not something I'm afraid to do. You know, I do obviously practice my daily spiritual defense and shit just to make sure, you know what I'm saying, things stay good. But if the house has that aura, if the house has that energy, bro, I'm out. There's no questions. I'm out. And I think that's true for anyone. But I do have a very last question now. This is going to be a 2-parter. So we're going to do a little bit of role play. Among the 3 of us, who's the most likely one to get possessed? On the count of 3, say your answer. 1, 2, 3, Nico. So Nico's getting possessed. You know why, Nico? Because you have no faith. You have no faith, bro.
Damn,
You're the one.
I was going to say
one.
he's the baby lamb.
Is Nico a baby lamb? Poll in the description, audience.
I don't know.
But
I don't know.
So many new revelations.
Are you an innocent soul, Nico?
would you say you're an innocent soul?
I plead the 5th.
You got them lamb chops?
Yeah, I just had lamb the other day. That shit's delicious.
Lamb over rice.
Bruh. I'm telling
What
you.
you know about lamb over rice?
It's a classic combination. What you mean? What you
Yo,
know
with
about
the
lamb
sauce
over
though?
rice?
With the sauce?
With the sauce though, of course.
Yes.
Anyway, so I'm
So,
possessed.
so you're possessed. First off, Nico, why don't you describe how your possession is going? Start with the very first early stage.
Oh,
right? So
man.
what would happen to you at first? What would be the very first signs?
So I think the first signs that something would be seriously wrong would be like I would start publicly posting and talking about how much I love Nirvana. And, you know,
Learn some Nirvana songs.
You're just
Yeah,
trying to get this podcast just shit on today, aren't you? But keep going.
sure fucking am, bud. No, I would probably just like I'm already extra as fucking real life. So if people saw me being like a little more loud than normal, I don't think too many motherfuckers would bat an eye. I am again like avid listeners of the pod will know that I'm a teacher, and when we were in the building, was the loudest person in my entire department and on my entire hall. So like, there is a lot of leeway that a spirit could have with making me look like a goddamn idiot.
All right, so you're starting to do that. And what's your second phase where it really starts to become apparent you're possessed?
Oh man. See, the thing there, and this is something that sucks. I feel like I would just get really, really, really fucking sick out of nowhere and just be bedridden, which would be awful because I would tell like you and you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, no, this is a normal thing that happens to you fairly occasionally. I'm not worried. So like I'd be even further in the shit, pun not intended. And like I don't know if my roommate would be getting out of hand or getting out of dodge at that point. I hope he would. Like, Alex, if I start just like screaming when I'm shitting or something, just please just leave. You have my permission.
Okay, whoa. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. Let's not kink shame anyone here. But carry on, Nico.
I never implied it was a kink. You are the one who put that there. And then in the final stage, I think I would just end up like being a dick and quoting, because like once you're fully possessed, you absolutely have like full knowledge of, you know, like whatever religious text du jour applies to you. So I would definitely, like, if we were going in the trend of Catholicism, I would start like quoting like, I don't know, Ezekiel 23:16. Yeah, there's a reference that you probably don't know. It's about like horse nuts and ejaculating and shit like that. Yeah, I fucking hear you typing, Justin.
It's not me.
Or is it Dan?
It's
one of the two of you.
Me.
So yeah, no, I would just go full on troll mode and start quoting things that didn't even apply to the situation just to fuck with you.
No,
I'm really not helping my case here.
That is not what that verse is about. So
yeah, okay, bud.
And now what's the final frontier of your possession?
Oh, I see. At this point, I hope one of you motherfuckers would just shoot me. My God.
No, I'm saying, well, what would you be doing? You know, what would your personal demon do to you or make you do?
Oh, my personal demon would probably just make me look like a complete, insane, incompetent fool in front of all my loved ones, and then I would shit myself to death because that's my personal hell.
So in the meantime,
I just had food poisoning yesterday. What?
In the meantime, Dan and I are the exorcists. So Dan, let me ask you this: what is your exorcism style? If you had to pick a style of exorcism. Yeah, what's your style, your flavor?
Am I from like the fucking possession village or some shit?
You gotta pick. What you can be any kind of exorcist you want, bro. Like you could beat the spirit out of somebody with like a fan or something. I don't care.
A fan?
Knowing my man Nico, I will go chef-ercism.
Oh, true.
Oh, what are you gonna do?
Pan Man and throw a bunch of like fucking.
Oh, shout outs to the movie Pan Man. Whoever saw that movie, you know what it is. You know what it is. Keep the pesto away from Pan Man. #, no pesto, no pan. So
I would just throw like really, really shittily made Italian food at you.
Yeah, that would work.
Just like frozen pasta that you get at like. There's like one like microwave meals that you get at like
Microwave Chef Boyardee.
Rite Aid.
Oh, you talking about the ones where they're like, leave the plastic on, but put this in your oven at 400 degrees. And it's like, poke 3 holes. Like, am I really supposed to put this plastic in here? Like, this doesn't seem safe.
Bro, it would be like fucking marinara flavored Hot Pockets. I
was going to say, yo, shout outs to the legends. Shout outs to the legends who actually like follow the cooking instructions, because I sure as hell don't. So.
Right.
Just nuke it in the microwave. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
So Dan, you would approach with like a chef style?
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're approaching with the chef style, I feel like I just gotta approach with, you know what I'm saying, like a kind of like a literary style almost.
Oh, okay.
I feel like that would be the most accurate route to possession. So I'd have to coax Nico's soul back from, you know, the hellish realm where it's residing after the spirit takes over. So literally, Nico would be at phase 2, just bedridden and all this stuff happening. And then Dan would be like, yo, listen, the power of this pasta compels you. And then just like pelts it at him. And then meanwhile, I'll be sitting there like while Nico like is slowly like eating up the noodles and regaining his humanity. I'd be like, hey, did you know that oregano was actually once considered to be the food of the gods because it grew on this one specific mountain, and then I read this in this book, this text, and then Nico would be like, hold on, you know what? That's actually pretty good. That makes sense, actually. And then I do what I always do to Nico, and I'd gaslight him. I'd be like, yeah, you know,
Thanks, bud.
I'd be like, you know, garlic was actually hated and despised in Italy for hundreds of years. And then he'd be like he would fight through the possession
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, it wasn't. Just like, he'd come out. But that's how I'd say, that's what I would do.
Your combined efforts would surely work. And if they don't, please just fucking kill me.
Well, that's a promise. So
I
now,
heard more typing noises.
it's all good.
Great.
It's all good. Nico and I already have a pact. Nico has to outlive me. So, does anyone else have anything else to say about possessions? Man, I feel like, if anyone's actually listened to this, they'd probably think we need some help. So,
They'd be right.
Please send good Italian food.
Does anyone have anything else?
I think a game where you possess people could be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like a video game, not like some weird thing you play in the woods and like end up actually possessing someone. I don't.
Yeah, definitely don't
for
pull
that shit.
Do not pull a Night of the Demons. So, yeah, that's been it from us here at Don't Open That Door. If you like what you've heard, maybe you want to tell us how bad we are, go ahead, or how good Justin is, but how much you hate Nico. Please go ahead and drop us a line. We're on Twitter and Instagram at DOtD Horror. We're also on Facebook, Don't Open That Door. So, yeah, that's been it from Nico, Dan, and Just. We hope everyone has a great night. Don't get possessed. And please, ladies and gents, don't open that door. Bye.